I, like many, can tell you that Steven Universe is one of, if not the best cartoon show of the modern generation. It's a world populated with lovable character after lovable character. Its storytelling is beyond engaging, and it has this gift for balancing simplicity with complexity. I have seen a number of speculation videos, analogies, and theories that fans have come up with. And if you've been watching the show for as long as I have, then it's next to impossible not to have your own inputs. Which is what I'm going to do. I've had this theory lined up in my head for a while now, and now it's finally time for me to talk about it. And that theory revolves around my favorite character, Pearl. Cartoon or not, Pearl is one of the most complex, interesting characters in anything. And in this video we're going to explore a certain aspect of her personality, her independence. As the show has been going on, the characters have all grown and evolved over time, with each of their own journeys linking to Steven's. But there's a question about Pearl's journey that I feel needs an answer. The question is this: is Pearl looking after Steven part of a test from Rose? One of the biggest theories of the show is the plan of Rose Quartz. It has been hinted at and built up that Rose has had this big plan that she's been working on for centuries. The more you think about it, the more you start to uncover details about what this plan actually is. And the more that I dwelled on this theory, the more I started to think of something. Is part of that plan having Pearl let go of Rose? The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. So, let's explore this question I'm asking. I'm not claiming this to be fact. I could be dead on the mark or totally wrong about this. This is just simply my own inputs. So, let's get started, shall we? First, let's talk about the backstory that we do know. 5,000 years ago, the Gems, led by the Order of the Diamonds, were the dominant force on Earth. They ruled over humanity and used the planet to create gems for their army. That was until Rose Quartz felt the need to put her foot down and stage a rebellion to free Earth from the Diamonds, thus beginning the Gem War. Rose and her followers ultimately won the war and freed Earth, thus allowing Rose and Pearl's love to blossom without anything else getting in the way. That was until a man named Greg came along, fell in love with Rose, and the two of them had Steven, to the expense of Rose's life. While Steven is the main focus of the show, almost everything and everyone around him is connected to him in some way. As the show goes on, you start learning more and more about Steven's mother and the Gem's connection to her. And the one with the closest link to Steven's mother right from the very start is Pearl. Pearl was deeply in love with Rose, and it's because of Steven that Rose isn't around anymore. You find out that Pearl is actually resentful of Steven, and that's also why she tries to be a good mother to him. Yet there's also times when her salty side takes over.
You can't understand how I feel! None of you had what we had!
She probably just wanted to protect you like everyone else.
What do you know? You've never even met her!
Yeah. But as the show's been going on, she's been steadily trying to relinquish that poison from her mind, and more importantly, succeeding. But why is this important? Well, to talk about that, I have to talk more about this show's lore. It's no secret at this point that Steven Universe is very anti-conformity. So it's appropriate that its villains, the Diamonds, value conformity above all else. There's an episode where Rose explains that when a gem is born, their life's purpose is preordained.
When a gem is made, it's for a reason. They burst out of the ground already knowing what they're supposed to be, and that's what they are. Forever.
For example, a pearl's entire purpose is to be an accessory. They're a subservient type of gem who aren't supposed to think for themselves. Like if you own one of these, then that's a symbol of your status.
They're for standing around and looking nice and holding your stuff for you, right?
But our Pearl is free, right? Right? Well, no. As I said before, Rose and Pearl were in love, but if you look closely, their love wasn't exactly perfect. They weren't bad for each other, but Pearl had a horrible, obsessive clinginess to Rose, to the point where she'd get jealous if anybody else entered her life in a romantic way, and that was an imbalance in their relationship. The reason why Greg and Rose were perfect for each other is because they had everything that each other needed. To Rose, Greg represented everything she loved about humanity. Somebody who's funny, artistic, adventurous, a little stupid, but has a good heart. And to Greg, Rose was everything that he wanted. Mysterious, fun, inspiring, tall.
You're everything I want!
The two of them were like a well-balanced measuring scale. When Pearl and Rose were together, there was that slight imbalance due to Pearl's obsession with Rose. And when you put it that way, it means one thing. Pearl isn't truly free. Even after winning the war and technically obtaining her freedom, there was still that side of her that wanted to be owned. And her love of Rose was part of that. Even Rose's final wish to have Pearl look after Steven is still an order from her higher-up. But now with Rose gone, she's got nobody left. As I said before, Pearl has been steadily moving on from Rose's death. And in the new episodes, there's this new version of Pearl that's been rising up in place of the old one. One who is independent, and not to mention, badass.
You're really gonna tell the Diamonds that you allowed a band of traitorous rebels to infiltrate a highly secure facility and escape from right under your careful watch? Doesn't sound like a wise thing to do, Holly Blue. So do yourself a favor and keep your mouth shut. That will be all.
Which brings me back to the question I asked from the beginning. Is Pearl's growth in this show part of Rose's plan? I've got a final theory for why I think this is true. When Greg and Rose were in love, guess who pushed that love?
That's fusion.
Yeah, Garnet. That's a side theory I have. Garnet is in on Rose's plan. Keep in mind, Garnet has future vision. She can foretell events that are going to happen. She must have known that getting Greg and Rose together would result in something like this. If this turns out to be true, then it's working. Pearl is steadily becoming more and more independent. And once Steven has grown up and doesn't need the crystal gems to look after him anymore, that'll be it. She'll have no owners, no diamonds, nobody to boss her around. Pearl will become truly free. Did Rose do this on purpose? That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and for now, see ya.